Mars cools his jets as he moves into the home of a friend, the sign of Pisces, from June 18th until August 16th. Welcome to In the Name of the Cosmos. My name is Surya Prakash, and this is a forecast according to the Vedic system of astrology. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the transit of Mars into the sign of Pisces, how he's going to ignite and interact with the eclipse on the 21st of June. Take a look at the signs that are going to be the most impacted during his transit in the sign of Pisces, and then we'll take a look at the two key periods of which Mars will change his state from being in rest to being awake. When Mars moves into the sign of Pisces, his natural elements become dampened. But this does not mean he's weak, right? So this is something that we have to really think about in terms of looking at the cosmology surrounding also to this. So Mars is in a friend sign and he's in water, so it's not exacerbating his energy and his fiery nature, but it's actually making it just simmer, right? So it's just making things simmer. It's making people still feel irritated and they still feel unsettled and they still feel unsatisfied, but it's now cooking, right? So instead of it just being hot and ablaze and on fire, his energy is now just at a simmer and a boil, right? So it's just cooking. And it's this state of like where we're integrating all that we have occurred in our lives for the last 40 days. So it's taking this integration period of what just happened and then how we can transform it into a stability, into making significant stabilizing changes that benefit all. This is a key motivation of Mars in the sign of Pisces, is how we transform this energy into a stability. So it's as in a state of assessment. And this we can also see as the day before Mars moved into the sign of Pisces, Mercury started its retrograde. Mercury's strong in his own sign. And so when he's retrograde here, he's actually also still in a reflective state, but Mars making an aspect to the sign of Gemini, to a retrograde Mercury, who's powerful, their interaction isn't always the best. So it's still going to be a non-negotiable state of what the rights of people are, what the wealth of people are, how people are being nourished, and what's really the truth, right? Because Mercury is really there awakening so much for us. He's awakening to really allow us, and with Rahu, to really see and integrate the truth, right? So with Mars there, it's going to be a non-negotiable that when he's looking to Mercury, saying, I want the truth, and I'm going to get it out of you. Right? So it's this state of still tension, but it's integration, but it's not a lack of his movement, really. It's more where he's just slowing down, integrating, still non-negotiable, right? So Mars doesn't negotiate. So here from his entry into the sign of Pisces, Saturn starts to aspect him with his third aspect. So here we can see where the government may try to put and enforce more rules about how we're taking to the street, what consequences we have. Maybe we'll start to see throughout the summer a more increased presence of military in the street trying to contain and hold the structure. And this won't be tolerated for very long, I say, by Mars's energy, because when he goes into Aries by August, he'll start to take it out again into the streets, right? So this period of him in Pisces is a place of rest, but it's by no means a place of non-action. It's a place where he's just now integrating and making demands. So he's making demands for the truth, and he's making demands in how it's being heard out, right? And then Saturn may be pushing onto him with a restriction in the government. This is something that we need to also pay attention for. So it's a period of time where we can see a decrease in violence for the first 2 weeks. This we can see. But in the second period, when Jupiter, the depositor and ruler of Pisces, has moved back into his own sign on the 30th of June. And when Jupiter moves into this house, he'll start to look to Mars. And Jupiter in his own sign, he can be very fanatical. He can be very dogmatic, and he can be very rebellious, you know? So he's kind of obnoxious here because he's just also inflexible. He's not interested in listening to anybody else, but just his own rhetoric, right? So from here, then he will start to ignite Mars to say, get off the bench and let's get back in the game again. And so this is going to be a challenge from the first week, I would say, of July, where he starts to push Mars back out to start to make the rally again. We have to hold the flag. We have to hold the point here. And this takes us to where, as we're getting closer to this eclipse point, right? And with Mercury the day before having gone retrograde, we now have 4 planets retrograde. So this also makes the energy very stiff and very heavy. And then we have Ketu, who's in a Gandanta point. So he's in this point of really getting ready to cross over into Scorpio in September. So he's in this Gandanta point. So he's very also looking to really finalize his work before he leaves this sign. So this adds to this tension, as well as this eclipse that we have coming up on the 21st. But for the eclipse, I will make a separate video. So Jupiter looking to Mars is going to ignite him to get back into the game. But we have a 2-week period where Mars is just integrating the lesson, really taking it in to really understand what has just happened and how we can take this accomplishment to really turn it into a reward of lasting change. And it's going to look to Mercury to say, you're going to tell me the truth, right? So it's going to be this demand for the truth and this demand for clear communication, right? Where Mercury, is going to have to, he's the messenger, right? So Mercury's the messenger, and he's in the right house. He's in the very right place where he needs to be, where he's actually starting to come forward to bring out and reveal things to us. But this is in the Mercury video, you can see. So in Pisces, it's really about this restless state, right? So it will appear on the exterior as perhaps being more calm, but the interior is still really bubbling. It's still really hot. It still really wants a lot of changes. This is what he's really calling for. And he's looking at how to integrate it. It's like the stove, right? So we're still simmering on the inside what happened, but then how do we serve up the results, right? So what was the soup that we just cooked, and what is it going to taste like? But how do we all live from that? That's really going to be a big thing for Mars to deliver to us. Now, the signs that are going to be the most impacted is Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Libra. So if you have your ascendant, sun, or moon in any of these signs, you're going to be the most impacted. And I would say for Pisces, it's really a point of where when your ruler goes back into the 10th house and starts communicating with Mars, who is your 9th and 2nd house ruler, this will be a period for you where you're really looking at how you can make really changes with your value system and how you can really work to give better counseling, not only to yourself, but to others, like how you can really bring it out into the world. And for Gemini, so for Gemini, this for you is in your 10th house, and it's your 11th house ruler and your 6th house ruler. And so this really means really you want to really take care of your health. Really right now it's really about taking care of your health, really taking care of, that should be your business of the day. Every single day should be taking care of your practice, whatever your spiritual practice is, and really taking care of your health. This really should be it, because you're very much challenged right now with all this activity happening into your 1st house. And for Virgo, the same would be for you. Your nervous system is really very much challenged, so this is happening in your 3rd house ruler is in your 7th house. And this can also make it very much a challenge with how you feel your projects are moving forward. So you may feel a little bit stagnation there, but after the eclipse, things, you start to feel the strength again because you have a very good transit with your ruling planet, Mercury. It's really helping you out a lot. And then for Libra, I think for you, Libra, it's challenging because for you, with its 8th house aspect, this makes it hard for you in your relationships right now. So you may feel really challenged in your relationships, and you may feel like you just have this need for just having space. And for some of us, we're either too much alone or we have too many people around us. So I think for most Libras, they're feeling this pressure of just needing space and just needing relief and just needing fun, like feeling like it's just heavy, you know. So but just wait you know, really there's some good juice coming to you. Your ruler's going to go direct very soon, so you will feel much better after this. But with the 8th house aspect, it can then, after your ruler's direct, bring you some great rewards. I thank you very much for joining me in my video today. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, please put them below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Satyanam.